Hi and welcome back to my channel. I'm Jessie and this is another vlog. So I'm a really bad vlogger and I thought I could vlog going to Alton Towers, but it turns out that I'm really shy in front of people and especially strangers. And I didn't want to start being like, hello, hi, yes, I'm at Alton Towers. So there's not a lot of me explaining what's going on, so I thought I would put in the explanations here when I'm by myself. We're going to Alton Towers.
And we're tired.
And we're tired. We're going to have a good time. Hopefully neither of us have COVID, because otherwise they won't let you in the park. You get temperature checked. What's the date today? August 24th, 2020, Alton Towers. Cool.
It's like doing an avatar when they go, I'm signing on to the vlog.
There's like, that'd be so much more fun. Signing on to the vlog. This is Alton Towers Day.
Today is we're at 3:15 p.m. and I went on the science expedition.
Oh no. Oh, you've locked us in. Oh. We left where we were staying because we stayed over in a hotel nearer to where Alton Towers is. We left, I think, at about 9:30 because we were about 20 minutes away from actual Alton Towers. But we got, as we were getting closer and closer into where Alton Towers is, it was just nailed with cars. Like, we queued, so we didn't get into the park until I think about nearly 10:30, maybe even later than that. Yeah, so bear that in mind if you're leaving for Alton Towers. There will be queues to actually get into the site, which will cut your timings back. Okay. We're in a queue. I mean, it's moving now a little bit, but it's 10:01. The Alton Towers has been the Alton Towers, yeah, it's been open for officially a minute, and we're stuck in like a windy little lane trying to just get into the park because everybody here also wants to go to Alton Towers, which indicates that this is going to be a really busy day, but at least the weather's nice. But yeah, we have Percy pigs, so we are fine. Oh, we're in Farley in Staffordshire. Staffordshire. I always say Strat. Like, I always think there's an R, but there's not. They have no R. They're R-less. But yeah. Just a little cars and queues. Yeah, I thought we were really close to Alton Towers. I thought that's why we were queuing. I thought we were like about to turn into the park. That's a really cute building. They must hate where they live though, because they have this like lovely view. But every 10 AM they have all these cars just dicking about their front drives. Must be so annoying. Like, oh, we're just going to have a late breakfast. Look out my window. Oh, look, there's another Ford Fiesta trying to get to Alton Towers. I bet you didn't tell them that when they bought the house.
It's like a bit warmer all the time. That's a lot of people in it from that little village.
It's not even a big village, it's a tiny village.
They were World War I as well. And there's one before the World War II. At the very bottom.
Cute gate, Although I'm gonna get copyrighted for this vlog because of Marty Robbins saying, "Who got the big pigeon toes?" Look where we are! We're in a hectic entrance for Alton Towers.
Find the express parking.
got an express parking ticket, which I highly recommend because I didn't know this, but basically what happens is you go into it, there's like a one-way in for the express people, and then there is a separate way in for like non-express, and that's like way further down. So basically you get to park so much closer. So we arrive at the site, we get out the car, and what you do is, obviously it's all COVID-y at the minute, so there are like lines that you have to follow, and there's 2 different lines for the different parkings, and the ones that get express go in a lot quicker. And what happens is you show someone your ticket and they're like, you're okay, then go into, there's like 6 separate lines that you then join into, like whatever the person who you've just shown your ticket to will go and join line 6, and you just basically wait in that line, and you get your temperature checked by, it was like just some guy with like a gun, and they just fire it at your head, and then you're allowed in. Obviously if you have a fever you won't be. Then you go through like the normal turnstiles and you're allowed into the park. Okay, that's a little bit of like the initial COVID lockdown aspect to Alton Towers. Decided to go straight to Oblivion because I said to Matty he could pick where we go because I didn't really care, and he knew I was somewhat scared of Oblivion. It's the one that I think looks the scariest in the entire park, and he was like, you know what, we're gonna go on that first. That's where we're going, so cheers for that. So as you can see now, we go on Oblivion. Get my big fear out of the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention please? At this moment in time, the Smilers queue line is closed.
That's what...
As we have reached our full capacity, the queue line will reopen at random intervals throughout the day. Please keep an eye on the Alton Towers app. We will display a queue time once there is availability for the Smilers queue line. Please ensure that you accept a bag and do not wait around the Smilers entrance for it to reopen, as this will create social distancing issues on the pathways.
Oh my gosh, I'm not kidding, I wasn't, like, that just made me a little bit nervous, to be fair. I don't know, just to start the day, we're hitting it harder for reading. Just the one I'm most scared about. Edinburgh is nothing compared to this. This dropped, look, literally, oh my gosh. It scares me so much. This is the one that last time I came, I avoided so tactively.
What do you mean?
Like, oh, we just ran out of time to do it. Like, and now that this one's the one you're making me do first. Oh. Fucking hell, Matthew. What have you got me into? Does that make the shooting? Oh no. Whoa. Look at that. That and this one kind of freak me out as well. Oh my gosh. I couldn't imagine eating a Ben & Jerry's at a theme park. It just seems like you'd bring it back up instantly. So we're going to Nemesis. So little Nemesis.
You feel?
Awkward then. Oops. But yeah, Nemesis for the win. Just done Oblivion. Nearly shot myself. You screamed. You can't say nothing. You went down going, ah, which only further terrified me. So yeah, thanks for that. But Nemesis now. We're in the haunted hot hills. No, forest. Something. I think I actually do speak about this. There's a clip of me saying we're about to go on Nemesis. And then it pretty much, I stopped talking to the camera until we leave the park. So this is where I'm coming in to do like a little post interview. So we go on to Nemesis. And now what happens in the park, because with Oblivion there was not many people on it straight away, so we got through that pretty quick. And then Nemesis I think had like a 40 to 50 minute wait. What the park's doing to try and make it somewhat COVID safe and follow the rules is that there are chevrons on the floor. You'll probably hear in a few clips that there's a voice that goes over like a speaker and just basically says, please keep 2 meters apart and stand on these chevrons. Somewhat became of a running joke throughout the entire day because so many people would be like, stand on the chevrons! Nemesis!
Please remain with your family and friends. Stay 2 meters apart from other guests. Please keep 1 chevron apart and always stop on the chevron when stationed. Ride exits are now 1.
After Nemesis we were dying for a drink. Nemesis was really good, by the way, it was really fun, but whilst we were in the queue you can like obviously see the ride go ahead, and I didn't know that Alton Towers were so strict on this. Like, I have been once before this day and I didn't know that you couldn't film whilst you're on the rides. Not that I intend to do anyway because I'm not about to drop my camera. The ride got stopped as it was like going up, and then on walks this, well, she kind of sprinted up these stairs, this girl who worked there, and like everyone's like, what's going on, because they've just stopped the ride, and she's sprinting up the stairs to where the ride is, and you can see her take a phone from someone who was on the ride. So clearly they didn't hear that you weren't allowed to film, and that was quite comical in my opinion. Then we went for lunch, I think, because it was like midday and we were really hungry, so we went and got some grub. We were wanting to go, there's like we had the map on my phone of Alton Towers because you can get the app. We wanted to go to this like pizzeria place because I really wanted pizza and it looked really nice, and we were by Nemesis and Air. Where it was near where the Wicker Man is, so if you know the park, that's quite like a walk away. The map was taking us basically cut through, but as we went to cut through, this guy in like security was saying like, no, this is a one-way street now, so you have to go all the way around and then get to where you want to go. So you have to like pass the log flumes. We ended up getting really lost and it took us about an hour to find food because as we got to the pizza place, the queue was like out of the door. It was ridiculous because I think everyone else saw that there was pizza. You couldn't sit in the restaurant, you had to like take your pizza out, and so it was overcrowded. It was gonna take, it said it had like an hour wait just for food, so we were like, nah, not gonna do that because we are at Alton Towers for the rides, not for the pizza. So we then went back. We did like a full circle of where we'd started by Air and Nemesis. It's not even called Air anymore, is it? It's Galactica. And so we just went back and got a hot dog from the stand. And this shows how bad of a vlogger I am. I'm already like half down chowing this hot dog. Like I've ate half of this hot dog and then I'm realising like, oh, could have filmed the food, couldn't I? Like, you know, most vloggers film their food. Forgot. So you see a horrible imagery of my half-eaten hot dog. Hot dogs. Demolished. Yeah. Then after that, considering we were right next to it, we went to Air, which is actually called Galactica, even though I've been calling it Air for the past however many clips, and yeah, that hands down my favourite ride. Out of all the rides we went on, that was my favourite because it felt like you were flying and it was great. Another interesting thing to note that it happened throughout most of the rides, not so much on Oblivion, but definitely on Nemesis Air and all the other ones we went on. Who you came to the park with was who you'd sat, like, you know, if it was like a row of 4 and you were only a party of 2, it was just you on that row, which I think was what was making the queues quite long, because like obviously the rides weren't getting as utilised. The rides weren't getting as utilised as they should have been, and everyone's waiting longer, I think. I don't know. But yeah, it was basically you and whoever you were with on a little row. After Galactica to Rita, I think. Yeah, Rita, and that, oh my god. It said 70 minutes wait, which already was kind of steep, but considering that everything around it, so like 13 is next to Rita, and that was also really long wait. The Wicker Man was like at 80 minutes, and I think the Smiler had been closed again because the queue was at capacity. So we went on Rita, but we stood in that queue for longer than 70 minutes because I'm not kidding, halfway through the queue we were just like, there was no getting out of the queue. Once you're in it, you are stood in that queue for like the entire time, so there's no backing out. The entire park seemed to lose power. Don't know if it actually did or not, but no rides went round for ages because obviously you can see it goes above you in the queue. They just didn't, for a good 30 minutes I think there was no rides. And then you can also see they have these like weird gondolas, I think it might be called the Sky Ride, and you can like just go around the park and see like the views and stuff of Alton Towers. But they just stopped. They were just suspended mid-air with people in them, and everyone was just kind of waiting. And then once they started moving again, Rita had a couple goes going around with no one in the car, so that was interesting. Still don't really know why that happened, but we went on it and it was really fun. Really liked it, although I got whiplash, which was not fun. The speed that the ride goes on, like your head, oh my word, it gets so heavy and I could not lift it up. So yeah, whiplash was not fun. Felt that for like the next 3 days, like I'd been in some sort of terrible accident. What would you rate it out of? I feel like I'm zooming in. No. What would you rate it out of 10?
What?
Rita. Decent.
Please remain with your family and friends. Stay 2 meters apart from other.
After Rita, we did the typical go on to 13. 13 surprised me so much, but I didn't realise it did that little like fake drop and then the real drop, and nearly pooed myself. That one was probably the funniest in terms of COVID at Alton Towers because we were sat pretty much near the back of the ride, but behind me and Matty were these like giant dummies. They were like, they looked like milk cartons, like giant milk carton men, and they just sat behind us the entire time. Like, it must have been 5:30. It was 5:30 when Rita and 13 were done, and we realised like the queues, every queue for what we hadn't done was like ridiculously long. They were like 60-50 minutes, so basically we knew we had like one ride left, and we went to queue in Wicker Man, which I think had like 80 minutes. So we were gonna queue for Wicker Man. It was 80 or 90 minutes, so that would have taken us into like the park closing, so this would definitely be the last ride of the day. However, we were umming and ahhing as to do Wicker Man or Smiler, and when I looked at like the type of ride, well, we discussed it, me and Matty, and we like said that obviously the Smiler's got loops, it's more like up and down, it's like a proper like theme park ride, whereas the Wicker Man is like a wooden, it's just a roller coaster. It doesn't have like big theatrics or anything. It's the coolness to it is the fact that it's made out of wood. So we decided at that point to do Smiler as opposed to Wicker Man. So we ran all the way to where the Smiler is from Wicker Man. We joined the queue. In that queue for I think an hour, give or take. Not gonna lie, a little bit nervous. Once we finished the Smiler, it was some like 20 to 7, give or take, but somehow we managed to sprint from the Smiler onto Oblivion, and we did Oblivion again, because this time I wasn't as scared, and it was actually a lot more fun the second time around because we got onto the front row, whereas on the first time around we were on the second row. So obviously when they tilt you, it's so much more scary. Hello, welcome back. Mattie's driving. We completed Alton Towers. We did 7 rides. We started with Oblivion, we ended with Oblivion. It was full circle. Can't think what else. The Smile also gave me a headache, but it was very fun. There was nothing in this. We had to buy these cool, well, these little like takeaway cups because you can refill your drink throughout the day, so effectively it was more cost efficient, I think. Probably saved a couple of pounds. And we had hot dogs for lunch, and that was Alton Towers. And then after Oblivion, we came back home. Well, we didn't come home, we went back to the hotel, and like we wanted to go out for food. Everywhere that we drove to was like, we should have booked somewhere. We really should have booked for food, because I think the government was still doing that, like Save It Mondays or something, you know, where they pay for half of the food for the restaurant so you get it dead cheap. So what we ended up doing was the town we were staying in had a Domino's, so we just like called them up and was like, yeah, can we have 2 pizzas, your garlic bread, the wedges, the cookies. Yeah, and it was very tasty, and I think that was probably like even better than going for a restaurant, because you could like put your pajamas on and just sit on the bed and eat pizza and watch TV, and it was good. And that was the end of that. And to end off a Alton Towers day rather well, I'd say we haven't done half bad. It's like 8:30, 9, near enough. And we got the pizzas and the wedges. And naked and afraid. Good diary entry, I have to say.